Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel. And welcome back to another episode of the San Diego Padres rebuild here on MLB The Show 24. Now, in the last episode, I may have gotten a little ahead of myself, may have gotten maybe a little too angry, possibly. I don't know. But I've had some time. I've slept on it. And I feel like I overreacted a little bit. I do understand that this team needs to win a championship because this team is maybe one of the best teams in baseball, and they don't play like it. And we probably will make some moves in this offseason. I don't know how crazy we're going to get, but we are going to make some moves. But if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, in the last episode, we had the playoffs, which was supposed to be the entirety of the playoffs, which it ended up being, only because we played 2 games and lost both of them to the Milwaukee Brewers in the wild card. So a team that goes 97-65 in the regular season plays 2 games in the postseason and loses both of them in a row at home? Are you kidding me? But whatever. It is what it is. It's another failed season. It is heading into year number 5. I mean, back-to-back 97-win seasons is crazy to not win a championship, or not even make it to the World Series. But that's the situation that we live in right now. So this will be the full offseason in today's episode. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be pretty crazy. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get into it. Advance the day. Go to the offseason. If you're curious about anything that happened in the last episode, you can go check all that out. So we have some coaching positions to fill. It doesn't look like we have any retirements. Mike Clevenger retired. Anthony DeSclafani. Who else? Austin Gomber, I guess, is a name. That is certainly a name of a person. There's nobody really major, is there? Clayton Kershaw. Oh, I didn't see him. But he makes the Hall of Fame. Good for him. All right, so we basically need a whole new coaching staff, except for our manager, who only has 1 year left on his contract. So hitting coaches, I want somebody that obviously has an A attribute grade and nobody that gives me like a negative that's too crazy. Ariv Kapoor, is that your name? Okay, I think I said that right. The -2 on the drag bunt is not that bad. I don't really ever drag bunt, so, and we get +3 power and +3 plate vision. I don't think that's that bad. That might actually be pretty solid. It might be one of the better ones. The -3 plate vision is probably a little bit too much of a negative. But like the -1 bunting, we don't really ever bunt. I can't remember the last time I actually bunted. So I think I'm going to offer Miguel Juarez a contract to be our new hitting coach. He hopefully will accept that. We need a new pitching coach as well. And we are going to go Stephen Vogt. I mean, why not? Stephen Vogt, isn't he the manager of the Guardians? He must have got fired. Whatever. I mean, I'd love to have Stephen Vogt as our manager. Or as not our manager, as our pitching coach. I don't know why he would be our pitching coach. He's not a pitcher. But I'm going to go for it because he's at the top of the pitching coach list. So we're going to find out. He's got A's? Or he's got A attribute grade. He's got pluses. No minuses. So I'm going to take it. I'm absolutely going to take it. Who do I want to go with for our first base coach? Andres Novoa. Doesn't look too bad. +2 speed's nice. But I don't think the other ones are that matter that much, I guess. Guadalupe Gil. That's quite the name. Felipe Aquino. +2 fielding. I kind of like the speed one. So we might as well go up to get one of the guys that at least has +2 speed. And that is going to be probably Andres Novoa. So we'll offer you a 4-year contract. He should hopefully accept that. Third base coach, we will go for who? Who should we get? Maybe this guy, Carlos Feebles? Febles, I guess? He also gives us +3 speed, or +2 speed. Yeah, let's offer him a contract. He's only 51. We'll give him a contract. And I think we need a farm director, right? Yeah, we do need a farm director. So let's offer a farm director. Dave Roberts and AJ Hinch are both here, but Dave Roberts gives us no negatives, and he gives us a pretty solid bonus. So we're going to go crazy because a lot of people are going to offer him head coaching jobs or manager jobs. So we're going to go crazy. All right, we'll see if they accept those offers. Hopefully they do. We will tender the qualifying. I feel like I should just pay him. I feel like I should just play Shea McClanahan. I know I could tender his qualifying offer for $22 million, but I'm just gonna pay him. He's gonna be on the team, so it's not that big of a deal. We'll give him a 7-year contract, and we'll pay him. I mean, he had such a good year last year. We'll give him 33.3. I'm fine with that. I know that's a lot of money, but we'll do it. We'll get rid of it. And then Dean Kremer. I don't really want to pay you a long-term contract, though. I guess 14 and a half is going to be good. That's a tradable contract if we need to get out of it. And then Isaac Paredes. Isak I could consider tendering, so we're going to tender the offer on that. That leaves us with not a lot of money left, if we're being totally honest. Feebles has accepted the third base job. Vogt has accepted the pitching coach job, so we're going to find out how that is. Miguel Juarez has accepted the hitting coach job. Novoa has accepted the Giants third base coaching job. That's not good. So we don't have a first base coach or a farm director. We're still looking for a farm director for Dave Roberts. But now we need a, third base coach? First base coach. We need a first base coach. Who do we want to go for? Maybe Felipe Aquino. I was looking at him earlier. We might as well just give him the job. 3 years, $3.5 million. He'll accept it. And Dave Roberts is actually going to be our farm director. Okay. Good for Dave. Today's last day to offer qualifying offers. Brian Robinson traded from the White Sox to the Rangers for a couple of prospects. So prospect for a couple of prospects. Okay, whatever. Very interesting. First base coach still has not decided to sign anywhere yet, but he looks like he's going to like ours. All right, we in free agency yet? Not yet. And now we should be. Okay. So free agency is open, and I see Sandy Alcantara. I also see Adley Rutschman, but we just got Adley Rutschman in the Bolt series, so I don't really want to get him here. Plus we have, who's this? Is this third base? Oh, it's because Paredes is gone. That's right. So we have, I like De La Cruz. I like Gunnar Henderson. I like Vladdy. I like Fernando Tatis. Excuse me. I like Ethan Salas. I'm not sold on Nolan Jones. I like Jackson Merrill. I'm not 100% sold on Nolan Gorman, actually. Funny enough. I think I like him, but I'm not married to the idea of him being on the team. But we do have to get all these guys back. So I'm going to go and do all this because this is going to take me a minute. So I'm going to do all this with the tender contracts. And then I'm going to get all these guys signed on arbitration and all that stuff. And yeah, we won't have very much money really at all to offer any contracts. But that's what trading's for. So I'm going to go do all this stuff, get it done, and then I'll catch back up with you guys when it's all finished. Okay, so I got all that done. We've offered the arbitration. We have tendered all the contracts. And that leaves us with a grand total of negative money. So we cannot just immediately go into free agency and offer contracts. We are going to have to make some moves in trading if we want to end up going and offering some contracts. That is a big thing. And one of those moves might be Alec Boehm out the door. He didn't play horribly, I will say that. I don't want to say that he was just like, he's the scapegoat because he's expensive. But he is kind of the scapegoat because he's expensive. The only problem is, we don't really have a lot of guys that aren't expensive playing third base. That's the problem. Like, the guys that are good are going to be expensive. That's how it works. And so trading for another third baseman that's not super expensive might be pretty tricky. Like, we could get Edmundo Sosa, but do I want Edmundo Sosa? No. Ke'Bryan Hayes is already 31. That's crazy. That feels weird. I know we're 5 years deep, but it feels crazy that he's 31. J-Ram, Manny Machado is not... How is he still a 90 overall? That feels weird. Austin Riley. I mean, the more I think about it, the Ke'Bryan Hayes deal doesn't seem too bad. He had a bounce-back year. One of his better years... he's had in a long time, actually. Maybe his best year as a full-time player. He had a pretty solid year. He's getting better, even though he's 31. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's a little bit cheaper than Alec Boehm. Slightly. The only problem is, I don't really have anything else to give to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, we have some top prospects. But I don't want to give them my top prospects. They're my top prospects. I don't want to give them. We don't really have a lot of pitching, do we? At least to depth in the minor leagues. We do have bullpen, though. We can make this trade. We could send, although I probably should do, oh, they don't want him. I was going to say, I'd probably do a guy that frees up a little bit more money. But none of these trades actually are accepted like the Kevin Kopps trade is. So I could trade Randy Vasquez and Kevin Kopps, who are not signed yet to the team. I think they're tendered contracts. But we could send those guys and get Ke'Bryan Hayes, which would free up not a ton of money. It's not like I'm freeing up a crazy amount. But it does free up a little bit. And Ke'Bryan Hayes is the same age as Alec Boehm and a little bit higher overall. His actual power stats are okay. His contact is good. Obviously, Boehm is a great lefty contact guy. And Boehm was really just our DH. Now he's playing third base because Paredes is still not signed yet. But I'm going to make that trade. We're going to make that trade. Boehm will go to the Pittsburgh Pirates, his third team, right? Or fourth team? Third team. And then we will... He was only here for half a season. Oh, no, he's a season and a half. Okay. And then we get Ke'Bryan Hayes. Okay. So I'm fine with that. We could also move Colt Keith if I really... I just don't vibe with Colt Keith. I don't know what it is. I just don't vibe with him. He's a good player. I don't get the vibes with him. He's not the player I need him to be. We could toss him to another team. The only problem with that is not a lot of third basemen are under contract, and the ones that are under contract, like I mentioned with Alec Boehm, are expensive. Aiden Miller is interesting. He's a top prospect. Dan Blankenship, okay. Yohan Moncada. There's Kobe Mayo. Pablo Alfonso's a rookie. He's got really good contact. Wow. No wonder he's in the bigs. Rafael Devers is always so expensive. Jose Ramirez on the last year of his deal. Wow, okay. So he's going to be a 36-year-old free agent next year. Machado, Michael Garcia. I mean, he's only 86 overall, and he's only 28. I feel like he should be older than that. He doesn't seem like that bad of an option. He's got decent contact, really good fielding. His speed isn't fantastic. His power is not fantastic. I feel like that's a lateral move, especially because it's slightly more expensive. Although, our budget after goes... Oh, I was going to say our budget goes up, but it's because I'm taking him off the board, not putting him on the board. Duh, I'm stupid. All right, we'll come back to that Colt Keith trade if we need to. Is there anybody else that we need to trade who's just super expensive for no reason? I mean, the three most expensive guys are expensive for a reason, because they're all guys that I want to keep. And yeah, maybe we overpaid on Shane McClanahan, and maybe we should just offer the tendering. That would have saved us like $11 million. I understand that, but I mean, he had such a good year last year. Such a good year. So I wanted to reward him. Strider, I want to keep. Bello, I could be talked into trading Brian Bello. It's not like he had a bad year. 14-6 with 2.75 is fantastic. But I could be talked into getting a cheaper pitcher. Maybe somebody who's put up similar numbers but slightly cheaper. Now, Yuri Perez, more expensive. Is there another pitcher who puts up good numbers but is also cheaper than $9 million? I'm just trying to free up as much money as physically possible. Bobby Miller is on arbitration. I'm sure that would be cheaper. And we could do Bobby Miller straight up for Brian Bello. Now, Bello is a year younger than Bobby. I don't know how expensive Bobby's arbitration is going to be. I guess we have to run that risk. I'm going to do that deal. I've always wanted Bobby Miller. So we're going to take Bobby. Oh, Bobby. And trade him with a division rival. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. Hopefully it does not come back to bite us. But I've always wanted Bobby Miller. And then Cole Reagans, I can't do that yet because he's got arbitration, I think. Yeah, so we'll make the. I think we're gonna trade Cole Reagans. I didn't click with him when he was pitching for us. So, and then Dean Kremer is 14.5 when we just paid him, but he just had a killer season. I feel like I can't trade him. Brian Abreu, I do like Brian Abreu a lot, but the money that he's getting paid and the production that he put up last year, is it really worth it? Or is there a better relief pitcher out there? There's probably not too many better relief pitchers than Brian Abreu, if we're being honest. Especially none that are cheaper. There's Abner Uribe. Yeah, we're not really finding... I mean, the bullpen in Major League Baseball is not crazy filled with, like, 90-plus overall players, and Bray is one of them. That's why he's getting paid that much. So we're probably going to hold off on that. But Kopech or Strom, I could see leaving. Because Strom, he had a good year last year, but he's getting significantly worse. So this, I could see an upgrade at. And maybe it's Brusdar Graterol, although he didn't have a great year last year. He is significantly cheaper. I would consider a move to Brusdar. And I would probably give them up... Who should I give up? Probably one of these first... I have too many first basemen, that's for sure. I'd probably do that trade. Can I get anything else? Maybe you have a pitcher that you don't want? Like this guy? Oh, no. They want that guy. What about that guy? they want... Obviously, they want their top prospect. So we'll just trade. We'll just make the trade. So, Brusdar Graterol, welcome to the San Diego Padres. Matt Strom will go be their number one pitcher in the bullpen. And then Cleveland. Trevor Rogers, I can't trade just yet. Do I want to toss Kopech away? Do I want to toss Kopech? He's a fine player. We'll make a decision on Kopech later. Clase, final year of his deal, kind of worries me. Devin Williams had a good year. I mean, he pitched in 15 innings, didn't allow a single hit, or a single earned run, I mean. So, that's a fantastic season from Devin Williams. But maybe he's the guy instead of Clase? I don't know. I don't know if he's the guy over Clase. He's more expensive than Clase, but Clase is probably going to need a new contract next year, and he's going to be expensive. So maybe we get rid of Emmanuel Clase, make Devin Williams the full-time closer, and then trade for another closer that we just put in the bullpen. That's a possibility. Is it a good idea? Maybe not. Probably not. Jose Alvarado is more expensive. I would like to get Jose Alvarado. I mean, he had oh my God, this is a fantastic season. Did he win the award? Yeah, he won the reliever of the year. I was going to say, that's a phenomenal year. But he's a little bit more expensive than I want. A little bit more expensive. Clase, 30. He just signed a new contract. We could toss another first baseman at him. Or we could toss Kyber Rodriguez at him. So, Clase and Alvarado. I know I'm going in the wrong direction here, but I feel like this is the better move. Because we're going to have to pay Clase probably more than what we want to. And then Alvarado coming off of a great year. I'm going to do this trade. Jose Alvarado, welcome to the team. He's the new closing pitcher. Along with Devin Williams, Mason Miller, Clay Holmes. And Clay Holmes is getting got. I talked about that in the last episode. That was one I wasn't joking about. Clay Holmes is leaving us. I mean, he just had a abysmal playoff wild card game 2. So I can't physically see him on my team anymore. So he's gonna be out the door. Who's he gonna get traded for? That's a good question. It definitely needs to be somebody cheap because we got to free up the money, and I paid a little bit extra for Jose Alvarado, so we got to find somebody that is not expensive. Somebody that's not expensive, but also somebody that's pretty solid. There's 2 top prospects right here for the Guardians. I'd consider getting these 2 guys, but at what cost? We have a lot of first basemen. I don't know why we have so many first basemen. It looks like they're not going to budge on both of them. I would consider the younger Pedro Hidalgo, although is Guzman better? I mean, Guzman's got so much better hits per 9. Maybe I go for Guzman. Ramon Guzman. Let me get rid of the first baseman, Mitri. And then let me toss in maybe a little... I can't toss in Trevor Rogers. That'd be a perfect Trevor Rogers move. Jeremiah Estrada. This is going to be a little tricky to get a top prospect like this. I probably have to give up somebody... Ooh, like Ken Flynn. Do I want to give up Ken Flynn? He's one of our draft picks that we made recently. Within the last couple of years, do I want to trade Ken Flynn or not? He hasn't really ever made an impact on the team, has he? And I don't know if he ever will. I don't know if he ever will. Not going to trade Bart. We're not going to trade Ferrer. We have a lot of catching prospects. I mean, we have Ethan Salas, who's already up to the bigs. Then we have Zuniga, we have Basallo, and we have Hugo Ferreira. A lot of catching prospects. And not a lot of room to put them. So do I part ways with one of my catching prospects to get this deal done for a top prospect? I could grab both of them and put them both in the bullpen if I give up Samuel Basallo or Ferreira. Hugo's already a 75 overall. He's decent at power. He's got a lot of pop in his bat, which is something that Basallo does not have. He's got good contact. He's more of an all-around kind of guy. Ferreira is more of a power hitter, so I think I want to keep him around. But Basallo is the one that has the A potential is the problem. Zuniga is good at contact power. He's got a good arm. He's 20 as well. Oh, Samuel Basallo, do we send you to the Cleveland Guardians for 2 top prospects? That is a big question that I'm asking, and I don't know what the answer is. Seems like the Guardians don't have any other top prospects. Oh, they've got that Garrett O'Connell guy at starting pitcher. Well, if I give up Basallo, we can get all 3 of these top prospects. Samuel Basallo, is it time to let you go? I think it might be. 1, you're 23. You're the oldest of the bunch. Zuniga's already a higher overall at 20. Ferreira is getting close. I think Samuel Basallo is part of this trade. It allows us to get 3 top 50 prospects. 2 that we can move to the bullpen. 1 that we can add to our pitching rotation because we don't have a lot of depth at the starting pitcher in the minor leagues. I think I'm going to do this trade. Samuel Basallo, it's good to have you on the team. You can now go be a catcher for the Guardians. And then we bring in 2 more closing pitchers that will move to the bullpen. We'll just switch them. Kind of what we did with Roger Ryder and Romeo Stark. We switched those guys to bullpen guys or relief pitchers. We'll do the same thing with Guzman and with Hidalgo. And then we add in another starting pitcher top prospect that we add. So now we have 3 top 50 prospects at starting pitcher. I like that. I like that a lot. And that frees up a little bit more money. It's not enough to make those additions, but it is a little bit more money. So let me just go do that before I forget. So edit player, general, we'll go this, make him a relief pitcher. Perfect. And then we'll go to Hidalgo and make him a relief pitcher. There we go. Okay, so now we have all of these top 50 prospects at relief pitcher who have A and B potential. Our relief pitching looks pretty solid in the future. That's for sure. And then we have Garrett O'Connell right there. All right, I think that might be the moves that we make for right now. Because we probably need to wait a little bit more. Now we have to... Oops. Now we have to renew the contract for him. We have to make an offer on Hidalgo. And is there anybody else? Garrett O'Connell. Make an offer on him. Everybody else should be good. And then arbitration. I think Bobby Miller's the only one. So we will go and make an offer on Bobby Miller. Offer arbitration. It's only 3.9. That's way better than what we were paying whoever we traded for. So I think, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make any moves in free agency here because we simply don't have the money. See, we have like $81 million in pending offers. So we're going to have to be a little bit more strict on our budget. So we're going to have to advance. And we do get the first base coach, so that's the final guy. Geraldo Perdomo signs a 6-year deal with the Rangers. Alcantara signs a 5-year deal with the Royals. There's our trade with Jose Alvarado, and our trade with Bobby Miller, and our trade with Ke'Bryan Hayes. We keep moving forward a little bit. I'm assuming a lot of those contracts have been tendered. They all have. But we have to wait on the arbitration deals now. All right, free agency. Adley Rutschman could be going to the Diamondbacks. Interesting. Pitching rotation still looks pretty good. They got Guzman up in the bigs. Probably should move him down. I didn't realize he was up there. So AAA. All right, so we still got these 3 guys up here. We've got these 4 guys in the bullpen. We're looking good there. Lineup. We need to put Ke'Bryan Hayes at third base for right now until we find out what happens with Isaac Paredes. All right, we're good there. Okay, let's keep moving on. He's excited to accept the qualifying offer. Is now under contract for next season. There we go. So I was just talking about it. Adley Rutschman signed with the Rangers on a 7-year deal. Okay, so forget about the Diamondbacks. He's going to the Rangers. Isaac Paredes now back on the team. We'll figure out what we want to do with him. And I'll figure out what I want to do with Wyatt Langford. Nolan Jones is not safe. I don't know. We need to figure it out because we currently have $30 million in available money in our budget, and we have more than that in arbitration deals. So Paredes is getting $22.2 million. That could easily be out the door. That could easily be out the door. This is going to be pretty tricky. This is going to be pretty tricky, but we need to figure out this 50-man roster, this 40-man roster. We need to make sure that the people that I want on the 40-man are on the 40-man. And I think we definitely need to have Zuniga on there. But Cordova, I don't think we need. I wouldn't be heartbroken if he got taken in the Rule 5 draft. And then everybody in AAA needs to be on here. Sean McCain, I definitely want. Yep, I can add him in there. Perfect. Roger Ryder, I want on there. Okay, we have a full one. Okay. I definitely want Stark and Hidalgo. Those guys will get wrapped up very quickly. All right, so we're going to have to make some hard decisions here. How do we get those guys on the 40-man roster? We obviously already have our 25-man roster for MLB. We have 14 AAA guys, but I want more than... I don't know if I can have more than that. All these guys need to be on there is the problem. Except for maybe Joe Adell. I mean, Joe Adell, he's good enough to play in the bigs. He probably gets grabbed in the 50 or the Rule 5 draft. That's the only thing. But would I rather have Joe Adell get grabbed in the 50 or the Rule 5 draft, or would I rather have one of my young prospects get grabbed? I'd probably rather have Joe Adell get taken in the 40-man roster, or in the... Why do I keep doing that? Oh, he's been offered... I can't take him off. Never mind. He's got to stay because he's been offered arbitration. So I guess we just have to run the risk of these guys getting grabbed, which is going to hurt my soul if they do. But I can't do anything else, so we got to move on. Jeremy Pena is an Astro again. Today is the last day to offer arbitration. I'm pretty sure I just did that. I offered everybody. Yeah, everybody has been offered arbitration, so we're good there. All right, let's keep moving forward. Ozzy Albies is a Cardinal. Felix Bautista is a Twin. Andres Munoz is a Pirate. Some weird deals here. Contracts tender, we already got all that done. Joe Ryan is now a Mariner on a 1-year deal. Bryce Harper got traded from the Phillies to the Giants, so obviously Griffin Canny was there to make the money work. That's a crazy trade. Okay. Alexis Diaz goes to the Royals. Leody Taveras headed to the Orioles. Kirilloff is going to the Athletics. Some crazy signings here. The draft lottery. We are pick 20 right now. I don't think we have any odds to move crazy. We'll see what happens, I guess. I would assume we stay at 20 or at least around the very high teens, and we stay at 20. Okay. I thought that's what it was going to be. No big moves except for the Phillies moving up 3, but the Nationals get the number 1 pick. Good for them. Johan Oviedo goes to the Brewers. William Contreras to the Royals. Royals making some big moves. Reed Detmers go to the Cubs. And here is the Rule 5 draft. Okay, we're looking good now. None of those 3 guys that got taken are on my team. Neither is that guy. Nationals making some big draft picks. Okay, so nobody on my team got taken. Perfect. So we didn't have anything to worry about. Christian Javier headed to the Red Sox. Randy Rosarena going to the Angels from the Rays for a couple of one young prospect and another guy that probably makes the money work a little bit. And we are into January. Arbitration is getting close. Bryson Stott headed to the Twins. Twins making a lot of moves too. Cal Raleigh going to the Brewers. So he's a member of the Brew Crew. We are getting close to arbitration. Very, very close. And here's where the money will get tight. De La Cruz, the arbitration panel sided with him. Stephen Kwan's an Angel now. The panel has sided with Mason Miller. Of course they have. The panel sided with Nolan Jones. The panel sided with Bobby Miller. I have 2 Millers on the team now. All right, so we're getting a little crazy here. Don't want to go too far. So, whoops, I can't hit the right button. Okay, so if we go to the budget, we have $11 million available. We probably need to free up some more. So, Paredes, Colt Keith, some of these guys probably got. Isaac Paredes. I can't be traded. Oh, that's $22 million I could free up. So he's going to have to be at the deadline then. He's going to have to be a deadline trade. That's annoying. I forgot about that. And Shawnell, I'm assuming, is the same deal. And I'm guessing Nolan Jones is the same deal too. No, Nolan Jones is good. But Nolan Jones is not super expensive. He's not going to make us that much money back, unfortunately. Eloy Jimenez. And there's really not a ton of left fielders that are worth going after, are there? I mean, Evan Carter would be cool, but I can't. He's still on arbitration. I don't know how we're going to make this work, if I'm being totally honest with you. I don't know how we're going to make this work. Fernando Tatis. I forgot about that stupid not being able to trade him until June 15th. That's going to really hurt us. The panel sided with Cole Reagans and with Nolan Shawnell and with Nolan Gorman and with Jackson Merrill and with Ethan Salas. Did we get any of those wins? We didn't win a single one of those. But we are negative $10 million with all those additions, which is where I figured it would happen. So we need to put together a package to get out of the negative. How is that going to happen? We trade Cole Reagans for somebody. Rhett Lauder, he's not expensive. Although he had a really bad year for Oakland. How did he get to Oakland? He's a Reds prospect. I guess they traded him before he got to the bigs. I mean, this will go through. They let me make this trade. But do I want Rhett Lauder in the bigs? Probably not. Yuri Perez, we can't make that deal. It's got to be somebody that's not super expensive, but also very good. That's a tough combination to find. Scooble. Paul Skeens. Who is the right... Oh, God, the Rockies are in trouble. The Rockies are in trouble. Who is the right trade? Is there even a right trade? That's a better question. Drew Thorpe? No, probably not. Anybody that pitches for the White Sox, I kind of want to stay away from, really. Let's see. All these starting pitchers are making so much money. So much money. Money, 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 money. None of them are that good. Who's this dude? Hurston Waldrip? That is a name and a half. Kodai Senga's too expensive. Andrew Painter's not good enough yet. If he was slightly better, I would go for him. I don't know if there's a trade. I don't know if there is a trade for Cole Reagans, unfortunately. So how do we get out of this hole? How do we get out of this negative money hole? I mean, the obvious answer is to trade away, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's the obvious way to. I mean, the obvious way to get out of it is trading Isaac Paredes, but we can't do that just yet. We'll have to do that at the deadline. But Nolan Schonel, that could at least free up a little bit of money. It's kind of crazy that Bryce Harper's playing for the Giants now. He's now in division. Is there a first baseman that can back up Vladdy? I don't know. There might be. Matt Olson, Pete Alonso. I'm not really seeing anybody that tickles my pickle. Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's not super expensive at all anymore, which is kind of crazy, but that's because he's 38 years old. There's got to be somebody. There's just got to be some person that exists in the MLB that is worth going after. And I don't know if there actually is anybody, because I'm going through these teams and I'm not seeing anybody that fits what I'm looking for here. At least not at first base. That's kind of annoying. We might just have to suffer through the panel sided with Joe Adell and Trevor Rogers and CJ Abrams and Joey Bart. Did they sign with any? They didn't sign with us, I don't think, at a single time, that entire arbitration deal. But we're negative $23.65 million because we paid Shane McClanahan, really. Now, we could get rid of it by trading away Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That is an option, and he didn't have that good of a year this year. He had a great year in year one, but year two, not really. So I don't really know how we get out of the negative hole. It's going to be quite the next year, that's for sure. All right, so we've got 1 day before spring training. Is there any moves that I want to make right now? I mean, I would love to trade some of these guys, but there's just nobody else around the league that matches what I'm looking for. So I think we're going to have to stick with what we have. And then at the deadline, we'll have to make those moves. So we get to the spring training period, and that'll be the end of the offseason. That will be the end of the offseason. So our starting rotation, not Bruce Dark-Gratterall, Bobby Miller will be in there. So this will be what our starting rotation looks like for year number 5. And this will be what our lineup looks like. We will have De La Cruz, Gunnar Henderson, Vladdy, Nolan Gorman, Jackson Merrill, Nolan Jones, Fernando Tatis, Ke'Bryan Hayes, and Ethan Salas. That'll be how the team looks for year 5. And year 5 very well could be the final year, because I mentioned this in the final video of my Juice Road to the Show series, and I mentioned how I was probably only going to continue uploading MLB The Show content on this channel until the real-life baseball season is over, and we are into playoff time. I know it's only like, by the time this video goes up, it's probably only NLDS action, or DS, I shouldn't just say NLDS, just DX action, Division Series action. So that means we've got basically the whole month of October and maybe a little bit into November, depending on if the World Series goes deep. So we don't have much time left with these series. It's probably going to be the final season for each series. Probably going to be the final season for each series. So we're going to have to win a championship. We've already won a championship with the Bolts, so that's already completed. We've already won 2 championships with the Blue Jays, so that's already completed. The Padres are the only team we haven't won a championship with yet, so we got to get that done in the next season, which could very well be the final season. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.